Hello, and welcome to Boomerang Beyond Wellness. I'm Angela Fischetti. So today we have our first part in our, standing upper body workout series, time-saving workouts. And the first area we're going to be targeting, well, this particular muscle and muscle group, well, I think that women really are connected to this part and want this to look really great. So yeah, it's the guns. So today we're focusing on the biceps. Now, this said, I can make a little bit of a joke there. However, the biceps are really involved in some important activities of daily living. In particular, whenever we carry something, the elbows are flexed and the biceps are working. And so therefore, where I live here in Miami Beach, a lot of people walk around places, which is really nice. It's not all about the car. So anyhow, I see a lot of people with their grocery bags hanging like this, and they're literally walking. I can't even do it. The elbows are like hyperextended, completely locked out, and they're kind of hunched with the shoulders. It's not good. So all you have to do in this case is just slide the bag up the forearm, bend the elbows, and pull them in close to you. And now you have the elbow and the bicep kicking in to help you carry. Yes, every time I've been away or out of the apartment for a while, I come home to my beautiful cat T, and that's for terrific, and I just scoop him up in my arms. Yes, I want to be able to continue to do that. And I need strong bicep muscles. I bet you do the same when you see your beautiful grandchildren. So this is an important muscle to actually train from a strength perspective. Now, the other area that is a big activity of daily living is when we just do the act of vacuum cleaning our home. So every time we pull the vacuum back, that's going to be bicep. And because exercise is never reductionist, there's always other muscles helping out. We got the posterior deltoid and the back muscles involved on that movement. So that's what we're going to do today for the first of the series. Now that's going to be kind of about a 20-minute video. Please, I talk a lot in the beginning of my videos, and so when I post it, I will absolutely have a timestamp for you, but I always ask people listen through one time because I do offer quite a number of tips that I think would be helpful for you. Now, the accessories we're using today, well, a sticky yoga mat, and not an exercise mat because, well, they don't stick. And you always want to work out on a flat surface and no throw rugs underneath your mats, folks. In fact, for our age group, 50 and above, particularly way beyond as well, I would just get rid of any throw rug. Also, we'll be using today, and I'm going to use two types. This is exercise tubing. And I have two today that I'm using, one with attached handles, and then the other that is not, and these are like adjustable. Now, the reason for this is because at 5'6" and above, you might want to consider the handles that are clip-on because it gives extra length to it. And for one of the exercises, I definitely need the longer length. Now, a heads up here. These exercise tubing, bands, monster cords, loops, they're all made out of latex. So if you have a latex allergy, double check, look into it, and look for either latex-free or non-latex. Now, this is going to guide me into a little bit more of a medical disclaimer. The jury is out on this, and especially I did a lot of reading, and it's like, it's really individual basis here. So if you have golfer's elbow, right? And that's medial epicondylitis, or tennis elbow, lateral epicondylitis. I want you to preview the video first and look for what you can do, and it's going to be there. And if you find you're really not sure, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well, and then you can make an informed decision. And in fact, folks, for anybody with pre-existing issues and medications, that's how I would approach this. The other one that I'm going to call your attention to quite a bit today will be carpal tunnel syndrome as well. So take a peek, see if it's going to work for you. Now, what we're doing today is we're going to be doing, as a warm-up, a demonstration of every exercise full out, but without any resistance. So this will help those of you with pre-existing issues, as well as those of you who might be brand new to strength training, even brand new to exercise. I do want to call your attention to the pre-existing video on the channel that has a proper warm-up and cool down, and to remind folks who are 55 years and above to do a full 10-minute warm-up before this or any other workout, and really especially before strength training. So we'll be doing one set of everything. And a set is a group of repetitions, so that'll be between 8 to 15 repetitions. Now, you might need to stop there at the one set, but we're going to wind up doing 3 sets today altogether. And those of you who are more seasoned exercisers, then I would say do the 3, do 4 if you need to. And typically it's a 20 to 25 second rest in between the sets. We're going to be doing some stretching, and that's going to kind of fill up that time right there. But for those of you who are really looking to sort of bulk and really make that difference of a powerful strength, then you want to go heavier to whatever you can appropriately handle, and take a 45-second to 1 minute rest in between the sets. So that's about it on my end. Let's get started. So we're going to begin here in an athletic ready stance. So what I'm doing here is the knees are soft, the feet are hips width apart. You line that up by finding your high pelvic bone, that's the iliac crest. You might feel a sharper bony prominence that's kind of projecting. That would be the anterior superior iliac spine. Hands to the inside, point straight down, not in toward each other. Then you line up ankles to knees. Let me come a little bit closer to the inside of the hip. Now, the other thing we want to pay attention to is sometimes when people do this, they start going here. See that? That's like a little back bend. They're arching the low back. It's kind of like when Beyonce twerks. We don't want that. That's called an anterior pelvic tilt. What we want is a pelvic tuck, also known as a posterior pelvic tilt. You see that? That's where you want to be, and engage that transverse abdominis by pulling the belly button in. So the arm's going to hang at my sides. Palms are facing my hips. Now, this movement is called supination. It means face up. And I take the bicep curl. When you don't use resistance, the tendency is to just really whip through it super fast. Don't let that happen. No need for that. Apply your own sense of resistance. The elbow acts as a hinge joint. The breath is in and out through the nose. That's what current science is showing now, is to start to exhale through the nose. And you want to, the concept is you're exhaling on the effort. So on the lift here, on the curl would be the effort. The inner upper arms are gently grazing the outer upper ribs so that I can control the elbow so it doesn't do heaving forward nor swinging back. And that can happen. Couple more. Exhale, slowly curl, keeping the wrist straight. And then slowly down. So a nice gentle bicep stretch, push out. Now for carpal tunnel syndrome, you're not going to do this hand position. This is wrist extension. I don't care the position of the arm. This is considered the arm anatomically. All this, no matter what, is still wrist extension. You're going to straighten those wrists and then reach out through the middle fingers. And then slowly lower. Now, when you do stretches on your own, hold them please for 20 to 30 seconds each. The next exercise is what I call a reverse bicep curl. So instead of hands this way, same concept, gently hugging the outer upper ribs with the inner upper arms. And here it is, reverse curl. Now, when you add resistance to these, you're going to feel the forearms work. And that's very important for us as we age, as we get more seasoned in life. Yes, I am 65, so I do use the word. I don't mean it disrespectfully at all. And curling, exhale. So what you don't want to have happen in this one, and this can happen easily, people do this, don't let that happen, right? Keeping the chest lifted, shoulders back and down, belly button in, knees soft, slight posterior pelvic tilt. Controlling the movement. Notice I come to a complete stop. It's a pause at the peak of the contraction. I want to also call your attention to the rating of perceived exertion chart that is there in the community tab and in the show notes for this episode. One more. Great. Now, let's have you take the bicep stretch. Remember carpal tunnel, your variation. Turn thumbs down, and let's interlock the fingers behind us. Let's open up the chest. But when opening up the chest, you're also elongating the arms. And I'm looking for scapular retraction. So these are stretches you can do throughout your workout. And if you're like this, well, then if you're super tight, so grab one of your tubes, hold on to them, and then you can gently bring your arms back and keeping those arms wider than the shoulders, no forward head projection of the neck. Release the arms. Let's take a little shoulder roll here. And then for the final exercise of the sequence, we're going to do what's called Arnold Curls. Yes, named after the man, okay? So I bring my shoulders back and down, set up with the athletic ready stance, and hands a little bit wide here. You've got nothing now to hold on to, nothing to squeeze into for leverage to lift. So this is all muscle. And exhale. This too, you're going to feel those forearms when you have weight. This is an osteoporotic site. So it's great to let them work as well, wrists and forearms. Take your time. Exhale, puff up chest. Just keep the wrist straight. And are you breathing? Make sure you stay hydrated. And always feel free to stop and rest whenever you need to. 2 more. 1 more. And down. Bicep stretch. And pec bicep, the scapular retraction. We're stretching out the front deltoid. Deltoid's muscles, they do act as a stabilizer during the bicep work. And release. Okay, let's go for the resistance now. So for the first one, I'm using a black tube. This is the basic bicep curl. When I stand on a tube, I want to stand with the arches of my sneakers pressing down on the tubing. Oop. I want you to see the feet. Yeah, because otherwise they can snap out. So I'm going to do my supination and my pronation. And exhale. So RPE scale, rating of perceived exertion. On that scale, I'd like you to work at a sense of 3, between 3 and 6. The numbers are 0 to 10. 0 is no effort, obviously. 10 is like the maximal amount of effort for 1 repetition. Work between 3 and 6. Especially helpful for those on certain medications like beta blockers. Exhale. Or pacemakers, you have a preset heart rate. You can gauge how you're feeling subjectively through the chart. I'll start to make ugly faces. Okay, 2 more. Oh yeah. 1 more. And slowly down. Now, because exercise is never reductionist, feel like I need to stretch out my delts a little bit. So I'm going to take it for shoulder girdle rotation. So you interlock the fingers for hypertension, whether you're medicated or not. You may have been told not to squeeze the fingers. So you take one hand on the other. And here we go. Now I want a nice long neck. None of this, folks. This is not good for rotator cuff issue nor pinched nerve. So I'm going for that long neck. And then just check in with the neck. See how it's doing. And gently turn the head from side to side. Now, those of you with vertigo, be careful with this because you may not like this. So therefore, don't do this part. Are you breathing? And I'll bring the head back to center, gently lower the arms down, take a couple of shoulder rolls. Next one is going to be reverse curls. So for this one, I'm using a red tubing. Again, with the attached handles, you're going to place the tubing underneath the arches of the shoes. Now, the wider you go on tubing, even on bands, the more resistance. So it's up to you what it feels like. And here we go, reverse. I think it's just a little too much. Okay, that's the beauty. You can easily adjust these. And folks, these are portable. Anywhere you go, you can take them, throw them in your purse, throw them in your backpack, in your carry-on. No matter where you go, you'll be able to keep up with your exercise program. I have traveled far and wide with yoga mat and all kinds of tubes, etc. Big time feeling the forearms. Woo. Exhale, pause. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. There it is. And lower. Keep going. Oh, oh. Yep. Again. I'm going to go for 1 more. And slowly lower. Now, because I felt that quite a bit in the forearms, let's do it. Let's give yourselves this nice stretch here. So let the arm dangle out in front. Wrist is lower than the shoulder. Opposite hand comes here. And basically, I'm pushing both into each other. Do not hyperextend the elbow, please. So you are stretching out the wrist extensor side. Actually, quite excellent for carpal tunnel. However, the next position is not. All right. So you're going to go back to this one, carpal tunnel, while we do this. So we're stretching the flexor side, but we have to be in wrist extension in order to make that happen. You want to catch the thumb also in there to stretch. And be careful of locking out. Okay, release, do a little shoulder roll on that side only, not an elbow pump, a shoulder roll. Go toward the earlobe. And then back and down. All right, other arm, dangle, push. Carpal tunnel, jump in on this one. Soft elbow. Ooh, feels really great. Folks, if you do a lot of like computer work, whew, this is really nice. And then turn it over, carpal tunnel. You go back to reaching out through the middle fingers while the rest of us do this. And all these stretches are on that video I mentioned before, and I will provide the link to it in the show notes as well. release, shoulder roll it. All right, now Arnold curls coming up. This is the one I'm using the clip-on handles. Now, also, some of the handles are a hard handle and some are a bit softer. So if you have arthritis or let's say Dupuytren's contracture or trigger finger, get yourself the foam handle. Okay, so now I'm going to go wider here. I don't know how wide, we'll see. Double checking that they feel kind of even. Okay, here it is. Now, because I have a winged scapula on technically my right shoulder, but you see it as the left, I just have to put everything into place. Now I can curl it. Yeah, there we go. Exhale. Try to keep the feet even with each other. Toes in the same line. Knees soft, belly button in. Chest lifted, no collapsing. Looking out in front. Whew. Starting to kick. Big work in the forearms again. Exhale. And oh boy. Last one. Woo-hoo. Oh. Yeah. Slowly lower down. Ooh la la. All right. All right. So I want to do this one for the wrist flexors. Carpal tunnel. Go back to this because this will also catch the biceps simultaneously. Now, because I felt here across the shoulder, right? I'm going to bring left arm across, hook right elbow above. I pull across, but then I depress the shoulder back and down. Don't twist and turn. So there's definitely a little push-pull going on here. So you're stretching out technically the deltoid and rotator cuff and the long head of the tricep. Release, give it a little shoulder roll. Take it here. I'm going to get that thumb in there. So we're stretching out the flexor side by putting you into wrist extension. And of course, the bicep muscle is a flexor. So that gets a stretch as well. And then across. Now, some of you may not be able to bring your elbow over like that. So you can hold it and just gently pull, but depress down. That's the important part. Don't just hike it over. We want that shoulder down. Holding for 20 to 30 seconds when you do it on your own. Really feel this. And release it. Let's take a couple of shoulder rolls. One more time. Let's do it again. So here we go. Basic curls. My black tube with supination. Okay, here we go. I think it's a little too close together. I need a little more resistance. Okay. There we go. Hugging the outer upper ribs, the inner upper arms, but don't squeeze them. Some people do this. Don't let that happen. Exhale. Chest up. Oh boy. I'm going to go for two more. One more. Whoa. There we go. We got some fatigue going on there. This time, I'm going to elongate the arms out in front. Turn the palms over. Backs of the hands touch each other. Wrists lower than the shoulders. Crisscross. Deep press shoulder girdle. And all I want you to do is look at the fingers. Don't drop your head down into that forward head flexion. Just look at the fingers and work like elongating the arm. Or I should say the arms. Upper trapezius, shoulders, biceps. It's lovely. And then opposite hand on top. Still crisscrossing, no interlocked fingers, please. And lower the arms down. Okay, now reverse those bicep curls. Here we go. Yeah, I need a little bit more of this set, a little more resistance. Let's see what happens. I want to get too cocky here now. So if you have any questions or comments, always feel free, I should say, to write me via the contact form on my website, which is boomerandbeyondwellness.com. I'll repeat it, boomerandbeyondwellness.com. And again, two more. One more, no rocking. And slowly down. Let's stretch out. Wow, that extends your side. Carpal tunnel can join in on this. Chest is up, not collapsed. I'm going to turn it over so carpal tunnel knows what to do at this point. Opposite. Give it a good push, pushing both hands into each other. So you want to work at an acceptable level of muscular discomfort for you. I don't know what that is. Pain is absolutely not allowed. Don't shoot for pain, please, ever. Couple of shoulder rolls. And we go into one last time for Arnold curls. Stepping on the tubing with the arches. I'm going to go a little wider this time here. Okay, here we go. Get that shoulder back in place. Here we go. I'm going to try it a little more. There we go. Pause at the peak of the contraction. E. Exhale on the effort. Oh boy. Last one. And slowly lower. Wow. All right, let's run through them. Shoulder girdle. Arms out. I like to think Atlas. Right hand pushes the right wall away, left hand pushing the left wall. Now from here, thumbs down. Interlock, puff up chest. Now you could play with this. My habit is to bring my real left thumb on top. So I'm going to now bring the right and shift every finger down the line. And it makes a difference on how I feel when I stretch it, because the other way is a habit. Good. Arm across, pull with opposite elbow or hand. Deep press shoulder back and down. Now I'm going to tie in another muscle, the opposing muscle, the tricep. Hand on the shoulder, elbow points down, not here, down. Then from here, we bring it on up because I want you to work through the range of motion of the glenohumeral joint at the shoulder. It's not just about trying to lift from the armpit. Think you're lengthening up from the entire side body. lower. Let's go here. And here. Carpal tunnel, you know the drill. Good. Arm across. Pull. Hand to shoulder, elbow points down, tricep stretch. Hand is behind the head, if possible. You can also walk over to a wall and put your arm up the wall. You need a little support. Slowly lower. Turn it over. Let's do some shoulder rolls. I want to thank you so much for joining me today on Boomer and Beyond Wellness. Almost couldn't say it. Please stay hydrated throughout the rest of your day. Eat your greens, eat your beans, and have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming here.